Hey you, I'm Sarah Turner. I'm a freelance medical copywriter, and today I want to talk to you about self-taught copywriting because that's how I started. And I want to give you 5 exercises that you can do to start developing your skills, because it is really totally okay to be a self-taught copywriter, but you gotta always be practicing and developing your skills to really make it in this world. So here are some of my best tips for that. So the first things first is to hand copy successful ads. And you can find a ton of those at swiped.co. Tons of great ads on there. And here are some thoughts I want to give you when you're doing that. First of all, I've had a lot of students go through this process and they're like, ew, I don't like these ads. They're so slimy. They're over the top. They're salesy. It's awful. It doesn't feel good. And here's the thing about that. You got to keep a few things in mind. One, those super slimy feeling techniques don't work as well as they used to because consumers are smarter, have been exposed to a ton of marketing, so they don't work as well, which I'm super happy about because I don't want to be slimy. You don't want to be slimy. So keep that in mind. The other thing is that it's really important to learn the rules so that you can break them. You know, that's a pretty famous proverb. So go ahead and dig into them and really see what information you can pull out of them. Sometimes you're going to pull out of them that's not a technique you want to participate in, so don't do it. But the thing is if you are writing for brands and companies that you really believe in, then it's okay to lean into some of those copywriting techniques. But here's the other thing about hand copying successful ads. Not enough people, as they're writing and after they actually write the ad, take the time to really think about it. So as you're hand copying ads, don't just hand copy them and be done. Go ahead and ask yourself, what are they doing? How are they writing? Are they writing shorter sentences? Are they writing longer sentences? Are they repeating themselves? What parts of the copy are they repeating? Why might they be repeating it? Another really important question to ask yourself is, what emotions are they trying to evoke? Are they successful at evoking these emotions? So as you're really going through and hand copying ads, make sure that you're actually taking the time to say, what did they do here? And why might it be effective? And what can I learn from it? That is going to be one of the most powerful things you can do. I know very, very successful copywriters who still take the time to analyze successful ads. It's really important as a learning process. So again, swipe.co is a website where you can find tons and tons of successful ads. And really, I've hand copied a ton of ads and I always learn something from them if I keep an open mind. So that is just, an important mindset piece of how you're going to get the most out of hand copying ads. The next one is to keep a swipe file, and maybe that's in your Google Drive. I have a swipe file actually on my Instagram. You can use the little ribbon icon on the right underneath an image to save something. So you can save ads that you come across that you think, wow, this is really good. I'd like to remember it and analyze it for the future. So definitely keep a swipe file. And remember, none of this is to copy anything. It's to study it, to learn from it. Ask yourself the same questions I mentioned before. What emotions are they trying to evoke? How do they use imagery to make their, what they're talking about more powerful? Did they describe benefits over features? Things like that. So always keep a swipe file of some fantastic pieces of copy that you have noticed. And another great one is to sign up for emails. Signing up for emails and, getting opt-ins, which are when, the little pop-up on a website comes up and it's like, hey, would you like to get our free recipe book, our checklist, our quiz? And you give them your email address and then they continue to email you from then on. So really take the time to sign up for some email sequences of companies and brands that you love and study those. Add those to your swipe files. Adding things to your swipe files is a really good practice, not in just this idea that you'll have it as inspiration when you go to sit down to write and maybe you're not feeling super inspired that day, but when you're adding things to your swipe files, take the time to really think about it from an analytical point of view. What are they doing? Why is it effective? Why did I think this was a good ad and worth adding to the swipe file? So yeah. The next thing is to practice writing in the active voice. And that is something that I see a lot of people making the mistake of doing. And the best way to do that better, in my opinion, and that I have found, is to use HemingwayApp.com. You can add your copy to HemingwayApp.com and it will underline things that are in the passive voice for you. And that is super important because people really resonate with the active voice. It triggers all sorts of neurons because it feels more real to the mind when people read about things in the active voice. So really get clear on what the active voice is and what it isn't, and see how you can improve your writing and write in the active voice better. The next one is to simplify your writing level. And this is a big thing. This was actually really hard for me starting out because I come from a research background. A lot of my writing with my only real 9-to-5 jobs was in research, so it was super technical, super dry. And when I was first writing for clients, I was getting feedback like, nobody talks like that, this is super formal. And so one of the ways that you can improve this is also with HemingwayApp.com. Try and bring that reading level down. Anytime you write or add something to that app, it will tell you what the reading level is that you wrote at. So it'll be like 9th grade, 10th grade, 12th grade. And really you should try and write for a middle school level. It's a little difficult if you're writing in like the health and wellness space. I struggled to get it down to the middle school level. So don't beat yourself up, but see where you can simplify things. Because again, we live in a really busy world where we are basically competing for attention. And so you want it to be really clear, concise, have short, punchy sentences, and to have somebody who's like doing something, like maybe they're in the doctor's waiting room, scrolling through and they've only got 5 minutes. Imagine that. Or imagine I loved reading somewhere once that was like, imagine that your reader really has to pee. How can you make it short and concise and bring that reading level down so that they'll really want to get through it? And then another thing that is super helpful is to really try and get feedback from another copywriter. And there are a couple ways to do that. You can reach out to them, maybe on Facebook or Instagram. Don't just ask them for help though. See how you can help them first. And again, that's how I really recommend reaching out to clients. That's really what copywriters do. It evokes reciprocity, which is where people want to help you because you help them. So really, if you're going to reach out to another copywriter, which is invaluable, see how you can help them first, because they're probably going to give you feedback if you take some work off their plate. And really make it all about them. So yeah, you could reach out to them, you could join a mastermind, you could go to a workshop, you could go, there's a lot of groups where you can gain access to other copywriters. So getting feedback from another copywriter is probably one of the best pieces of advice I can give any self-taught copywriter. Because that's really going to speed up this whole process for you and make your writing a lot more effective, a lot more quickly. So that is it. If you like this, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. I really love making these videos for you guys. Drop a comment. Let me know what you want to see. Give me your feedback. Again, I want to encourage you. Most copywriters are self-taught, even the biggest names. I had the pleasure of meeting some of the most famous, actually like the most famous copywriters in the history of copywriting, and they are all self-taught too. So don't be discouraged by that, but it does mean you need to kind of be a little bit more innovative in how you go about getting better. And of course, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I will be releasing videos weekly, and maybe you'll see a video you suggested. So thanks, I appreciate your feedback, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks, guys.